Good morning, students. Let's learn about equipotential surface. An equipotential surface is a surface on which all the points are at the same potential. Consider a point charge q located at some point in space and an imaginary sphere of radius r is chosen by keeping the charge q at its center. Have a look in the picture. You could see the charge q kept at the center. An imaginary circle is drawn and points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J are plotted on the imaginary circle, and all these points are at equidistance from the charge q or at distance r from the points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Now, all these points are at the same potential just because they are at the same distance r from the center charge q. So, all points in the surface of sphere are at the same potential. For a point charge, the equipotential surfaces are concentric subspherical surfaces. Have a close look into this picture. You could see the center charge q and three circles are drawn, circle 1, circle 2 and circle 3. All the points of circle 1 are at equidistance from the center charge q. So, circle 1 forms the first equipotential surface and all the points of circle 2 are at the same distance from the center charge q. So, all points on the second circle will be of equipotential, or all the points are at the same potential. They form another equipotential surface. Similarly, all the points of circle 3 are equidistant from the center charge q. So, all points placed in the circle 3 will be of same potential. So, they form another equipotential surface. If you see, there are three equipotential surfaces, 1, 2 and 3. All these three equipotential surfaces are different. For example, if charge q, actually here in the diagram, charge q can neither be positive nor negative because no specific arrow marks are not given. For example, let me consider this charge q to be positive. So, the equipotential surface 1 will have greater potential just because it is closer to the charge q, whereas the equipotential surface will have lesser potential because it's quite away from your charge q. So, here in this case, if you want to bring a charge from infinity to the first circle, more work has to be done because the electrostatic potential of surface 1 is greater. Whereas, if you want to bring another charge from infinity to the point, any point on the circle 3, you may need less work because the equipotential surface is lesser compared to the first equipotential surface. Next, let's move into uniform electric field. For a uniform electric field, the equipotential surfaces form a set of planes normal to the electric field E vector. That is, the red color lines what you could see is your uniform electric field, and you could see three planes which is normal to the electric field. These three planes are the equipotential surfaces for a uniform electric field. That is, all the points of the first surface will be of same potential. All the points placed in the second plane will be of equal potential, and all the points placed in the third plane will be of equal potential. But the potential of points placed in the first, second and third plane will be different. Now, let's move into the properties of equipotential surfaces. The work done to move a charge q between any 2 points A and B is given by the formula W is equal to Q into VB minus VA. Suppose if 2 points A and B are placed in two different circles, that is circle 3 and circle 1. In that case, potential at B is taken to be VB, potential at A is taken to be VA. So the work done to move a charge Q between any 2 points A and B is given by W is equal to Q into VB minus VA. If the points A and B are going to lie on the same circle or lie on the same equipotential surface, in that case, both the points A and B will possess same potential, or I could say VA is equal to VB. In that case, work done will be 0. So next next diagram, we have already seen this diagram. For a uniform electric field, the equipotential surface form a set of planes, and these planes are found to be normal. Normal means perpendicular to the electric field. All these planes are perpendicular or normal to the electric field E vector. Even for a point charge, all the equipotential surfaces, what you have already seen, even those spherical surfaces are normal to the charge or the electric field. So the electric field is always normal to an equipotential surface. I repeat, the electric field is normal to an equipotential surface. Suppose if it is not normal, if the electric field is not going to be normal to an equipotential surface, then there is a component of the field parallel to the surface. In this case, the work must be done to move a charge between 2 points on the same surface. That is, work should be done to move a charge between 2 points on the same surface. Actually, what we have already seen is within the same equipotential surface, the work done to move a charge is 0. But in this case, if it is not normal, the electric field is not normal to the surface, then in that case, work must be done to move a charge between 2 points on the same surface. This is a contradiction. Therefore, the electric field must always be normal to equipotential surface. Please do make a note of it. The electric field must always be normal. That is, they should be always perpendicular to the equipotential surface. Next, let's move into the relation between electric field and potential. Consider a positive charge Q kept fixed at the origin. Let this be the source charge. To move another unit positive charge by a small distance dx in the electric field E, the work done is given by dW is equal to minus E into dx. That is, to move a source charge in the electric field, the work done, general formula is given by work done is force into displacement. Here, the small amount of work done dW to move a unit positive charge through a distance dx is given by dW is equal to minus E dot dx, where force what is applied should be equal and opposite to the electric field. That is the reason in the formula W is equal to F into dx, F is replaced by minus E. So my formula for dW would be minus E dot dx. The minus sign implies that the work is done against the electric field. And we also know that work done is equal to electric potential difference. Work done is equal to electric potential difference. So I could write dW, the work done, is equal to the electric potential difference dV. So dW is equal to dV, but already we know that dW is equal to minus E dot dx. So in the place of dW, I am going to replace dV. So my formula becomes dV is equal to minus E dot dx. On rearranging this, I get E is equal to minus dV by dx.